For more reaction to the news of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's resignation, let's bring in John Manley, a chairman of Jefferies Canada, senior advisor at Bennett Jones, and former finance minister and former deputy prime minister. Good to see you again, John. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So I'm sure you watched the resignation and what Mr. Trudeau said, and you paid close attention to his tone and so on. What are your initial reactions?
Well, he didn't want to do this. It wasn't the plan that he had mapped out, and it's unfortunate for him to be leaving under these circumstances. Had he taken advice from people a year and a half ago, he could have left on a high, given his party plenty of time to rebuild and prepare for the next election. Instead, he's left because his caucus basically said, we're not supporting you anymore, and it's time to go. And he's left his party in a very weakened position.
We heard from Lisa Raitt earlier, and she believes that there really should have been an election as soon as possible. And I think you said that last week, did you not?
Well, I said that we should have got our deck chairs organized before Hurricane Donald hit the beach, which we know is going to be January 20th. And that still seemed to me to be the best plan. Chrystia Freeland's departure really made it impossible for Justin Trudeau to lead his party into an election now or even later, because her letter would have been Exhibit 1, in the trial of public opinion when Prosecutor Poilievre put it before them. So I think from the day that she issued her statement, it was inevitable that he was going to have to leave before there was going to be an election. So it's not ideal. It's certainly going to provide some challenges for Canada. Donald Trump, as we all know, smells weakness the way a shark can smell blood. And he'll see Canada being in a weakened position, and it increases the likelihood that he does something somewhat drastic after January 20th. We'll have to wait and see. But it is what it is. There's always a government, no matter prorogation or dissolution or anything else. There's always a government until the next one is sworn in, and our government is able to respond with retaliatory or other measures. And we'll just have to take what comes.
Is there any consolation, John, in negotiations with the U.S. that, as our Bloomberg reporter pointed out, that at least Trudeau's there? He's been through it before, and he has a few other advisors around him. Is that at least a small consolation?
Well, I think that he has dealt with them before, and he knows them. I don't think we were about to go into particularly in negotiation. This is not the renewal of the USMCA. That doesn't come up until 2026. This is, what are we going to do if, in fact, he actually follows through on his threat of imposing tariffs? And is that a negotiation? I mean, it's a threat. He basically told us that he was going to abrogate the deal that he negotiated with us, and which he described as the best deal ever, by imposing unilateral tariffs for reasons that have nothing to do with the agreement that he negotiated. Complete abrogation. What do you do with that? I'm not sure there's a negotiation there. Yes, we're trying to respond to what he says are some of the reasons why he would do such a thing, and we'll see whether or not he's satisfied. But this is not. There's no orderly progression here of negotiating. We're dealing with a bully who is trying to exert his authority across our border, and whoever the government is not going to find it easy to deal with that.
Can you walk us through what you expect the next several months? Trudeau stays in power for a while until they choose a Liberal leader through a campaign, a convention. Then the House of Commons sits again. There'll probably be some confidence motions. How do you see the next 3 or 4 months transpiring?
Well, I think prorogation puts a lot of the debate aside. It stops committee proceedings from going on. There was lots of things going on in those committees, and basically everything that was on the order paper has died. So we've got a pause here in activity, parliamentary activity. I think the first thing is, how are the Liberals going to run this leadership race? You know, we've had Justice Hogue doing an inquiry into foreign interference in Canadian elections, and the Liberal Party, you know, since the Trudeau era, has not had the same, regulation of memberships that used to be the case. So basically, if you go to the website and click that you're a supporter of the Liberal Party, you were going to be able to participate in votes and so on. That's open to. It wasn't even required that you be able to establish you were a Canadian citizen. In fact, you didn't need to be a Canadian citizen. So that's open to foreign interference, and we're choosing somebody who, at least for a period of time, will be the Prime Minister of Canada. So they're going to have to be very careful how they put this set of procedures into place, how they mitigate against foreign interference, how they prevent, what we've seen in other leadership campaigns, these, vast numbers of we call them instant liberals, showing up and doing it all online. This is not the way to win the confidence of the country. They've got a chance here to put a new face forward. I doubt that they can win an election with a new leader, but they can at least make a reasonable showing with somebody new that can perhaps connect with Canadians. They're going to need to make sure that the process that selects that person is one that people have confidence in.
Lastly, John, from a business and investment standpoint, and based on the people that you're involved with and that you talk to on a regular basis, is this what happened today with the Prime Minister announcing his resignation? Is this step one to what we hope will be a brighter, more advantageous economic and investment picture in Canada, and a different perception from around the world?
Well, I think that's right. I think that Prime Minister Trudeau, for whatever his accomplishments were, it also managed to alienate most of the Canadian business community. We've seen the decline in investments happening. And it's been evident for some time that he was very unlikely to win another election. So I think people, business not necessarily totally enamored of all the things that Pierre Poilievre is saying, and worry a lot about his style. And I think that business generally is going to welcome the possibility that the Liberals will put forward a more centrist, left of center, yes, but a more centrist position that Canadians can make an informed choice about, rather than just deciding we're going to vote this way because that guy's got to go.
All right, John. Well, thank you as always